Metropolis. Batman lived in Gotham City. Well, there were no such places. Our characters lived in New York City, which there really was a New York City.
When you deal in a world that's as grounded as the real world, then when a guy like Spider-Man swings from buildings, it's that much more amazing.
The soap opera of his life, in his relationships with women and his family and his work. Even as a kid, that was more interesting often than how the 4-page battle above the skyscrapers of New York was going to work out.
One of Stan Lee's greatest successes was to really humanize the superhero.
Spider-Man is not a guy who always wins and where everything is rosy and easy for him because he has superpowers.
Now to make an easy spider landing. Oh no! My web shooters are empty!
His superpower has been as much of a curse as a blessing.
Isn't it strange that with all the power you have, you've hurt so many of those close to you?
He worries about the health of his elderly aunt.
Doctor, how is she? Why do the people I care about always get hurt when I'm just trying to do the right thing?
Peter Parker has his share of problems. I mean, it's neat to be a superhero and to go out and do good and things, but his everyday life gets in the way.
I don't need fan mail at a time like this.
He worries about making a living.
All I need is a superhero retirement pension, and everything would be perfect.
He's got to explain to his girlfriend why he can't take her out on Saturday night when a bank's being robbed.
MJ, I've got to get out of here for a few minutes. Can you stay with Aunt May?
Sure.
It puts a lot of pressure on him.
What have I done? How could I have been so irresponsible?
Spider-Man feels guilty about some things. He's not sure if he wants to be a good guy.
I let my temper get the best of me. I didn't consider the risk. The world needs Spider-Man about as much as I need him. I'm through.
The whole city of New York thinks, in fact, that he's a villain.
Hold it right there, murderer. You're not going anyplace.
It just complicates his life.
It's the hard choices I'm always having to make. I just can't handle it anymore.
There's far more of a morality play than there is in usual comics. What is right? What is wrong? How can the weak become strong?
Dandruff, ingrown toenails, allergies, acne, you name it, he worries about it.
No one would really have wanted to be Peter Parker, a bloke who couldn't get a date, who all the football team used to beat up, who didn't know who his parents were and lived with his aunt. It's not an attractive proposition.
His troubles are our troubles. Spider-Man is the closest thing to what if one of us became a superhero.
I think the readers, especially the young teenage readers, were able to identify with Spider-Man because they have the same worries.
I think Spider-Man is kind of, without getting too pretentious about it, there's a certain amount of metaphor going on between what happens to Peter Parker and the changes of puberty.
You're changing. I know. I went through exactly the same thing at your age.
He was sort of the first young character that was written into the Marvel Universe.
Most other superheroes are crotchety old adults.
Developing superhero powers and having to cope with it and decide good versus evil really parallels the idea of being a teenager and having your body change on you.
I tried to make him like any sensitive, typical teenager.
Stan Lee and Steve Ditko knew what they were doing here. Stan Lee introduced Spider-Man as a bold, new, different kind of teen idol. Popular culture icons like James Dean, Elvis Presley had already shown the market was there for a teenager who was strong and yet insecure at the same time.
Stan Lee was the first person to do that, I think, to make the geek drop out the hero.
Spider-Man also came in at a time when youth itself was becoming much more important in popular culture. Youth was beginning to replace maturity as a virtue. Youth itself would play such a huge part in the politics and the culture of the 1960s, and Spider-Man was right there at the start of that.
Coming up, Swap Shop. Spider-Man swings his way onto Saturday mornings, and Hollywood comes calling.
And the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. Puts a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm in your bedroom, rhythm in the street. Yes, the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. Flip your wings and fly to your daddy. Take a dive and swim to your daddy. It's a soaring from you, daddy. Baby's got the rhythm of life.
دیگه از من چی میخوای؟ من دوست دارم مرا
Both away, Beethoven.
Thanks for the lift. Ow!
dog. Shut up!
Oh, and another one.
Biggie, no!
iTunes in your phone, baby.
Hello, Moto.
Experience an exciting mouth sensation. Oral-B's Sonic Complete. 3 modes let you customize brushing to clean, go easy on sensitive spots, and massage for individual mouth care. It's your mouth. Brush it your way. Oral-B Sonic Complete.
Because the world isn't perfect, you need new Cif Power Cream Bathroom Spray. It removes grime, soap scum, and even limescale. It's the perfect cleaner for an imperfect world. Sky, what do you want to watch?
If it's adventure you're looking for, he's the one man you've been waiting for.
Gracias.
Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, the Legend of Zorro.
To celebrate the launch of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Lenore is giving you the chance to win a family trip to New Zealand, the location for the magical world of Narnia. Lose yourself in your wardrobe with Lenore. The pleasure's all yours.
Can I nick a fag? You not having one? Nah, I'm cutting down.
There are some cigarettes all smokers would like to cut out. Fortunately, Nicorette Fresh Mint Gum is clinically proven to help you cut down by more than 50%. And if you do, you'll find it easier to stop altogether. Cut down with Nicorette, then stop.
Take 6 celebrities. Take them to the middle of nowhere. Take pot shots, take cheap shots, but take no prisoners. Commando VIP premieres 8 o'clock Wednesday on 5.
Okay, world, you're about to meet the original web-swinging wonder.
By the late 60s, television was replacing comics as the first choice of the teenager, and so it was only a matter of time before Spider-Man made his Saturday morning debut.
Saturday morning was a holy time for children, and to have their comic book characters come to life, it made a really, really strong impression.
My little brother likes Spider-Man. He watched the cartoons and stuff, so I'd be playing and then it'd be on in the background. I'd be like, whatever.
Spider-Man first appeared on Saturday morning in 1967, and this was the series that had the now memorable theme song.
Spider-Man. Does it spider get gone?
No way. Catches thieves just like flies.
Watch out.
Here comes the Spider-Man!
Can you beat that?
I saw it every afternoon after school, without fail, every day for 3 years.
That's just too far-fetched.
Just throw this cell down, stick on the animation, and I don't think there was too much time and care taken over the intricacies of the animation.
Let's get out of here, pal.
There are some obvious limitations to the animation, which, if you're a kid and you're watching it, you really couldn't give a crap about. They use a lot of repeating animation techniques where you see Spider-Man swinging from building to building, and maybe you cut away from something else, and then you see that same shot of Spider-Man swinging from the same building to the same building again.
It was really tough to put out a weekly animated series. It was very expensive.
The stories were always good. They were compelling, and that's what held it and let it run for a long, long, long time.
That Bakshi Spider-Man was actually kind of dark and brooding and more memorable than some of the later ones, which actually had probably better quality of animation.
They were very good. They were quite dark. The skyline used to be very red and black and looked quite sort of macabre, really.
Thus, a legend is born, as a new name is added to the roster of those who make the world of fantasy the most exciting realm of all.
I used to love the Spider-Man cartoons. But if there was a program on TV where it was a real Spider-Man, I like to see it in the flesh.
It's great to watch it now because it's a fantastic bit of 70s quiche.
The TV Spider-Man tried to reflect the comic book Spider-Man.
We pretty carefully followed the comic book version. We brought in Chris Hammond, who was our Spider-Man.
But daytime dweeb with a dual identity wasn't Nicholas Hammond's only secret.
He'd been in the Sound of Music originally with Julie Andrews, walking around little shorts and suspenders.
In the 1977 pilot, David White was J. Jonah Jameson.
Are you on drugs?
He is better known as Larry Tate on Bewitched.
You want to work here? You must be crazy too.
I guess the producers of the live-action show, to save maybe a little bit of money, decided that they would just shoot it here at home in Los Angeles.
It's not easy to duplicate New York in Los Angeles.
Oh wow, look at that. Spider-Man's climbing up the buildings. He's gone up 1 story, 2 stories, 3 stories. Oh, he's at the top. But that's not the way it is in New York, because it's like every building's 80 stories. But this was actually filmed in Los Angeles.
If you needed to get from downtown to Century City, there was a lot of walking.
The thing is with Spider-Man is he has to stick onto things. So say if you got him in a desert, he'd be completely useless.
How did he attach himself to the buildings and things? We just said he was attaching himself to the buildings.
How did he do that?
We most often had him on a set of ropes, hopefully invisible ropes, and we elected to shoot all the Spider-Man work in videotape and then transfer it back to film, which was kind of unusual for that day. The film audience is very accepting quite often. If they get into the character, if they believe that character can climb up a building, they'll believe he can climb up a building.
He really is hanging onto that wall, isn't he?
Spider-Man's web on the live-action version of his show in the 70s was really just a net.
It looked like something you'd throw in the ocean to catch shrimp.
It was on a spring device under the arm of the uniform, and he would just, boom, detach it, and it would shoot out.
I can remember trying to get washing up liquid bottles and being able to go bang and smash it down and stuff squirting out, but we could never get the right consistency of goo.
He also never fought other superheroes. Yeah, he only fought crooks, weaker people than him.
Our writers would come up with their own set of conflicts for him to get involved with. It was martial arts time.
What does he wear? What do you mean, what does he wear? What's he got on, his underwear? Looks like a priest to me.
Give me a hero in a uniform and superpowers, and I'll show you, not always, but I'll oftentimes show you a hit.
Where are you going, Peter? Be right back.
Spider-Man.
In the 70s, he briefly showed up in Electric Company, which was a children's TV show, kind of like the next step up from Sesame Street.
Nifty work, Spider-Man. Nice going.
He still, I believe anyways, tried to teach you about something, as all those educational programs always tried to do.
You got a license for that push cart? Sorry, Spider-Man, but you have to have a license.
I have to plead ignorance of the TV versions because they would always infuriate me. They would always be inferior, certainly in artwork.
Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
He was like friends with lots of other superheroes.
Iceman and Firestar.
When you watch it now, you think, oh, that's rubbish, but when I was a child, it's fantastic.
What are you doing tonight? You want to see a flick?
I'd love to see a flick, Bobby.
Spider-Man was living with these 3 guys and a girl and a dog. Couldn't quite figure that one out.
Bobby, I've got a date with Peter tonight.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind.
He went out and fought supernatural villains, came back, had a few pizzas, watched TV. Basically, it's friends in tights and lycra.
See you later, Aunt May. We're off to the North Pole.
I know they were super friends, but Spider-Man's always been a loner in the comics, so it didn't quite gel for me.
When they made Spider-Man the animated series, they were trying to do what they had done for Batman, which was raise the level of quality, both animation and writing in every kind of way.
You must first overcome the self-pity that threatens to end your career.
We dealt with some pretty courageous issues. I think that's what made the show so successful.
You don't understand. There's a dark side to Harry that he keeps hidden. It comes from the anger he felt about growing up unloved.
In the 90s, Peter Parker's next personification in the parallel universe of Spider-Man Unlimited was not a success because of its confusing plot lines, and Marvel turned its attention to Hollywood for the next stage of the Spider-Man saga.
One of the saddest things about this absolutely massively hyped film is that it's completely overshadowed the genius that was Spider-Man the musical.
You guys make my spidey sense tingle! I gotta do better than that! Get him this time! How's he doing? You stop missing that!
It should have been so much bigger.
Marvel was sitting on this treasure trove for about 20 years, while DC got there first with Superman and Batman.
There were some really bad deals that were made back in the days. The people that were selling these properties didn't have the confidence that they probably should. Those deals have gone away now.
With the Spider-Man movie on our doorstep, the anticipation is running high. But for a while, it seemed like the movie was a non-starter.
Spider-Man took about 10 years to get to the screen.
Rights have been moving around through the business, through various bankruptcies, through the hands of various directors.
If the rights had been settled years ago, Spider-Man would have been out, made by James Cameron with Leonardo DiCaprio as Spider-Man.
All of this probably worked out to its benefit because in the last 10 years, digital technology has gotten to the point where you could truly realize anything that a comic book artist could conceive.
I'm nervous about all superhero films before I come out. Not so much Spider-Man because of the director that I've got involved.
We had a real fan among us, Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi brings a love of the character to the film. He's obviously a fan, and he was reading it in the late 60s, early 70s, when the kind of books that define the character were being written.
There was a lot of competition for the job of directing Spider-Man. I went in and had a 2-hour meeting, and I made a presentation, and I told them of my love for Spider-Man.
We wanted it true to the comic.
He loves Spider-Man so much. He always has as a little boy, so that's important because he's such a fan of it.
Such a great sense of humor.
Let's watch these clips.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Peter Parker's a high school student. So if you just think about the actors in your head, only 10% of them could probably realistically play 17. And what really we were looking for was a great actor, and that's Tobey Maguire.
I didn't know Tobey Maguire that well, and I think, boy, I hope he'll be all right.
He's got that slightly distracted, strange, uncomfortable air that the Peter Parker of the Spider-Man comics really needs.
He's quite spidery, Tobey Maguire.
1 minute into the movie, I said, oh man, perfect. He is Peter Parker.
Tobey Maguire's got to be the most unconventional lead part in an action film ever.
Once we cast Tobey, a lot of the young actresses in Hollywood all wanted to play the part.
Gosh, she's really...
So it allowed us to move past just the best actress. Now we could actually look for a great actress who also had chemistry with Tobey Maguire.
Came out to Berlin to screen test me, and the chemistry was there, and Tobey and I just hit it off. I'm so interested.
I'm not.
You're not?
Well, why would I be?
I don't know. Why would you be?
It is a love story. I don't know if I look at it exactly like that, but it's a big part of the film.
Do I get to say thank you this time?
I had to hold myself in a position while they would yank me up and down. Terribly romantic. No, I did sneak some pleasure out of a moment or two of it anyways.
In the comic books, Mary Jane's quite a complicated, feisty character. In the movie, she's reduced to just a piece of screaming meat who has to be like rescued.
Strung up and like dropped, and or in the water or on a balcony, and so I was always the one being thrown around.
Willem Dafoe wanted to play this role.
You get to do things that are sort of forbidden and get to act them out without being punished. There's a pleasure in that. I really enjoyed the Thanksgiving scene.
There we are.
Oh, it looks delicious.
Norman, will you do the honors?
Dark, menacing, very brooding, and he really looks the part.
There's something slightly manic behind his eyes.
He's still in great shape. All the aerobatics where he's on the little hoverboard. He did it himself.
It's a beautiful costume, and it's a cool costume.
Spider-Man could not have been done until the computerized effects were sophisticated enough so that swinging on your web looked like a possibility.
This could well be the first of a whole series of films where we're seeing comic characters that just weren't possible to turn into films before.
Coming up, the wait is over. Spider-Man's opening night.
They'll never guess who did this. Diet Coke, sugar-free, great taste for those who love life.
It's even smaller than it looked on the website.
Neat, eh? It's the Advent Lifestyle PC. Pause and record TV. Intel Pentium 4 processor 630 with HT technology. Sorry? Intel Pentium 4 processor with hyper-threading technology for faster performance. It's great for movies and photos. The 26-inch LCD widescreen is included, and it's all at a price you'll find hard to beat, even on the internet. 1399.
Over half our customers try us online before they come to try out products for real.
Great. We'll take one away right now. Thanks.
Online or in-store, you've got the best of both worlds.
PC World.
It's paradise for germs lurking in the bristles of your toilet brush. But not anymore, because there's Fresh Brush from Toilet Duck. Just click it on and clean. When you're done, flush the whole lot safely away. The pad breaks up like toilet paper. Fresh Brush from Toilet Duck. Flush the brush, ditch the germs.
Now there's a new way to buy Sky TV, so you only pay for the kind of TV you want to watch. For instance, if you love comedy but don't want movies, and love documentaries but don't want music, you can now build a Sky package to suit you. From just £7.50 a month for the first 3 months. Sky. What do you want to watch?
Blimey, they're a bit fancy.
These little beauties are 5 times stretchified.
5 times stretchificated? Ah, they look great on me.
They're for keeping you dry, not making you look good.
I always look good.
Can see that.
New Huggies Superflex. 5 times stretchier than Pampers Baby Dry.
My bank's introductory credit card deal looked great on paper, but it wasn't.
Because when you make any purchases, their interest rates bring you back down to earth with a bump.
My bank's having a laugh.
There is another way. Switch now and get 0% on balance transfers for 9 months, 0% on new purchases for 9 months, and free air miles with a NatWest credit card.
Watch full-length music videos. Download the latest music tracks on your mobile. And watch MTV clips too. Sweet thing.
We like music.
In the home sale at Argos, save 25% off all Malibu bedroom furniture. Hurry, must end Wednesday the 19th.
Sarah, are you asleep? No, I can't wait anymore. Me neither. Mum says it's just magical.
Mum says back to bed.
But Mum, we're too excited.
The only thing better than looking forward to a magical Walt Disney World holiday is actually being there.
Are you asleep?
No, I'm too excited.
We heard that.
April the 29th, 2002. In Marvel's New York offices, the finishing touches are put to the latest escapade in the Spider-Man series.
Spidey's like the flagship character. He's the #1 character that everybody knows the most, relates to the most. He would be Marvel's Superman in terms of recognition.
Marvel's Manhattan base put the Spider-Man saga and his Queens born and bred alter ego at the eye of another storm on the 11th of September last year.
The Marvel editors were at work when the events of September 11th happened. A number of us watched the first tower fall from street level.
Proximity is everything, and I was quite close. So I haven't quite sorted out how I feel.
In the light of 210-story buildings falling down, what good is art? We just couldn't figure it out. And then when someone came up with something that we could do, which was, you know, a couple of our tribute books, it really helped us. Spider-Man has used the New York City skyline as the backdrop.
Not in Gotham or in Metropolis.
New York is the canvas on which we draw and write most of our stories.
It's important that we attempt to reconcile these events in the course of our books.
I felt to not address 9/11 would have been callous on our part. A child will read this and say, oh my God, it's Spider-Man at the World Trade Center trying to figure out what to do, helping people. As an adult reading, you're like, oh, I get it, it's a metaphor. He's not really there. He's just speaking as the heroic ideal.
There was a genuine sincerity behind the people who created that issue, but I don't think there was that much talent.
That's where that comic works beautifully. It's quintessentially Marvel in that sense.
Most of Spider-Man was shot before the attack on September 11th, so it didn't really impact the picture too much.
When I see the movie and I see explosions in New York City, it doesn't take a sensitive person to think right back to 9/11.
I've left in the other images of the Twin Towers in the background of the film because I didn't want that terrorist act to influence things in any simple fashion more than they had to.
To shut it out absolutely and erase things and kind of sanitize it, I think is a mistake.
Back in Tinseltown, Spider-Man's scarlet shag pile has been laid, and the anticipation is in the air.
I was surprised at how many kids were out here today that are just absolute rabid fans of Spider-Man. I mean, who knew?
Pretty damn proud.
The point of her premiere really is to draw the attention of this town to your movie.
They have computer generation. I have the...
It's the lights, it's the camera, it's the action, it's the fun, it's the red carpet, it's the stars.
My first name is Randy, and you know what that means.
Hey everybody, look what we've got, and look who showed up to go see our film.
I haven't seen a single star. Who have you seen here, for crying out loud?
The main stars were here.
Well, it's my birthday tonight at 12.
I suppose it's somewhat overwhelming, but I'm excited about it.
The secondary stars were here.
Nobody can fault me for lack of trying. With great power comes great responsibility.
Will Smith was here.
Diddy, no more pictures inside.
Cuba Gooding Jr. was here. So it was a pretty good turnout. I wouldn't say it's the best turnout, but I would say it's pretty good.
Spider-Man was always my favorite superhero. You know, so we're gonna have fun.
Critical acclaim is nice, but if you had to choose, box office every time.
May the 3rd, 2002, opening night and the moment of truth for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
This is my gift.
Wow.
Here to see Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Superman.
Not Superman, you know.
Oh, Spider-Man, yeah. Y'all want to see us climb on the wall?
Commercials look really good.
The first blockbuster of the summer.
He's
He's legendary to me. He's one of my idols, so I'm gonna go support him.
Special effects and the upside down kiss. That's what I'm here for.
Do I get to say thank you this time?
Imagine being here in New York, all the way from Scotland, and watching Spider-Man.
Wow.
5 times going for the 6th time, and have 2 times tomorrow and 3 times on Sunday.
Hope I can get these tickets.
Tickets. Turns out there's about 3 shows already sold out.
Looking at me since he is.
Kids are hanging out just for that. It's too late for my mom. I'm gonna hang out, take a cab home.
Spider-Man rocks. Essex.
Are you all right?
Green Goblin looks like crap. You gotta be funny like the comic book.
Special effects might be a little too fake.
Amazing. Breathtaking. You have to go see that. Once is not enough. It lives up to everything you would hope for.
Wow. Simply stunning, mate.
Special effects is awesome.
The storyline was to the keel. It's right out of the comic book.
This movie is a fine addition to the work originally created by Lee and Ditko in 1962.
It is my curse.
Who are you?
Tobey Maguire he was actually a lot better than I expected.
Everybody's doubting him, but I thought he was a perfect choice.
He looks a little young.
I'm fine.
Everyone was thinking he would be too scrawny or something, but he did an excellent job.
The fight to the Green Goblin, it was good.
Did you see how fast he was moving? There's the Green Goblin. I mean, he is very, very hard to attack.
You want to see a good comic book movie? See Spider-Man.
If you're a New Yorker, you'll understand because it's right from the heart of New York. He's our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I wanted more. I just wanted more. I can't wait if they make a sequel. I can't wait.
It was great, man. I can't wait for the sequel.
If there ain't no sequel, I'm gonna be mad.
I certainly hope that the series will go on forever.
At the end of the first one, I went, okay, you know, I want to know what happens now.
Spider-Man's gonna have a sequel. Want to show up in the sequel?
I have to be up for it, whether I like it or not. 2 and 3.
Mr. Green Goblin?
In the second one, we're going to hit the ground running.
It's going to start shooting in early 2003. I suspect yes.
I figure there'll probably be at least 100 movies before people begin to tire of them.